Good evening and welcome back to Prime of Midlife. It's Monday evening, 9th of January, I think, somewhere around about there. And today has been a very interesting day here in the UK. There has been so much going on, and with all that's going on, what I'm going to eventually end up with is why I am going to vastly increase my shelf-stable preps. So let me tell you why. So if you looked at the news this morning in the UK, it was Jeremy Hunt, the Chancellor, is going to tell UK businesses how the energy help that they've been getting recently is going to change. That was sort of like supposedly the headline, and then there was the stuff had come through yesterday of the government's going to meet unions, they're going to talk about pay, there could be one-off payments to try and stop all the strikes. So these meetings went on throughout the day, and I think there's one union has said that they're hopeful. I don't think any of the rest have. I don't think any strikes have been stopped. And then we hear that actually what the government had talked about with the health service unions was making efficiencies and such, you know, and working harder to make it more efficiencies and everything. And they're like, you know, we're doing 12-hour shifts, mate, get a grip. So most of the unions came out of that not terribly impressed, but because the meetings had gone on all day, it's only really at the tail end that you're finding out that no, didn't go well, strikes are still coming on and still going ahead. Then there was the thing from Mr. Pill. Now Mr. Pill is Bank of England Monetary Committee or something like that. And he's giving a speech tomorrow. So he put out a thing today to see what he was going to talk about in his speech. Now, the Eurozone inflation or interest rate, one of them's come down. I can't honestly remember which. I think it's the interest rate's come down a bit. But the Bank of England, this Mr. Pill, is saying, well, actually, you know, the UK is a bit different, and yes, we are expecting the interest rate to come down, but it needs to go up first. And certainly the markets are saying, and the economists and such are saying, that it's going to go up in February, and it's going to go up again 3 months later, April, May, June, somewhere about there. And they're looking about probably 4.5% for the interest rates. So this is all happening the same day. So businesses are not, the amount of support they're getting to pay these hugely increased energy bills is being, the support is being decreased quite considerably. The unions for the strikes, for the pay deals for people, the meetings that were supposed to be productive seemingly were not. The Bank of England is saying that the interest rates are not going to be coming down anytime soon. And then you find out, I think it's on Sky News, is it? They've got this thing about how much the politicians got donated to them. They get donated an awful lot more than their yearly wage, and a hell of a lot more than most of our yearly wages. So that got me to thinking, these companies who are not going to get as much support with their energy bills, some of them are going to close, people are going to lose jobs. The interest rate's going up. Companies who've taken out loans or who have mortgages on properties, that could be a big problem if they have to renew while the interest rates are so high, and people could lose their jobs. The strikes, it's not so much people will lose their jobs as people will, well, no, actually, from a lot of the terms and conditions, people are going to lose their jobs if the unions lose. Because the change in terms and conditions means that quite a few thousand people are going to lose their jobs. So there's going to be quite a few more people who do not have jobs. because the businesses cannot afford to run. And I mean, the Bank of England man, his wordings were along the lines of, well, do you know, businesses are just going to have to run at less of a profit. Forgive me for saying this, and I don't have any scientific or factual evidence, but I think there's an awful lot of businesses are not making a profit already, and they were holding on thinking that in the spring it would get better, and he's basically told us it's not going to. So some of those businesses are going to give up, because they'd rather give up now before they lose everything. So there could be an awful lot more unemployed people. And where this all came round to was, what if I'm one of them? And I mean, touch wood, we seem to be okay at the moment. But what if something happens? What if I lose my job? What if I get sick? Because, you know, I'm not the youngest person in the world. What happens? And I thought about back when my father was ill a few years ago. Before he got like proper ill, he had a really bad ill in the middle. And I mean, he was in HDU, they put him into palliative care. We did not think he would make it, and he miraculously did. And I mean, like, completely miraculously. And I got made redundant, literally about 2 days after he came home from hospital. So I took a year off work, and I started a local community website, and I basically lived on my savings. Now at that time, which was quite some time ago, I had 6,000 in savings, and I managed to get through the year with just a few bits. Like, I had Google AdSense on the website, and I would make maybe £20-30 in a month at that time. So there was little bits, and don't get me wrong, Mum and Dad helped out. But it's a huge cut from what my wages are. So I was thinking about that today. I was like, how much can I cut? What can I live on? Now, obviously, I have the mortgage to pay, I have the council tax to pay. So I'm like, right, 12 months of that. Can I take a year? Because that will give me a year to deal with things, a year to work out what I'm doing. And my wee brain, again, full of wee wheels going different ways. But one of the things I thought of was just when Patrick messaged me earlier, and he's like, have you had your tea yet? Like, nope. Don't know what I'm having. I have 3 choices in the fridge. I have 9 in the freezer. I have 3 in the fridge, and I will choose which one I'm going to have. And I thought, ooh, all these little choices in the freezer, you know, they're all the little sauces and the chicken and the stuff. And they will all go with veggies and rice and such that are shelf stable, that are up on my shelves. Now, my freezers, as someone commented, you know, it's like, have you got organisation ideas for your freezer? No. Basically, I buy everything as cheap as I can, and then I fill my freezer, and then I eat out of it for a while because, so I'm just actually at that stage now. That's me. I need to stop prepping for the freezers because they are full. So that will last me a good while. But all these little bits that if I lose a job or if I lose money, I can eat on an awful lot less if I've got the basics stashed. So your pasta, your rice, your tinned veggies, your tinned meat, everything like that. And they can last for years if stored in the right way. I go get more. I want to have it that if this all gets as bad as it seems it could do, when interest rates do not suddenly drop and inflation does not suddenly drop and people lose their jobs and we don't know where the next paycheck's coming from, or we're having to go on benefits and there's less people donating to community food initiatives or to community food banks, I want to be able to at least have the basics. You know, your rice, your pasta, your beans, your sugar, anything. So prepping over the next few months is going to be shelf stable. No more freezer stuff. Probably not even an awful lot of dehydrated stuff just now, unless I get it for much cheapness. until I get more cupboards so that I can keep it in a cool, dark place where it won't deteriorate, because you have to have it in a cool, dark place. Otherwise, it just ends up, it loses colour, it loses texture. It's a mess. So yes, that's my plan. And I know it was a long way round for a shortcut, but looking at what's happened in the news today and looking to what's going to happen with that in 3 months, in 6 months, I want to make sure that I can look after myself, or I can live on very, very little if I suddenly have a change of circumstances. So yeah, that's my video for this evening. So I hope you're having a nice quiet evening. I'm going to go make myself a cup of tea now, and I will catch you later.